If an officer in prison has a relationship with an inmate, it's considered a sex offense. You actually have to register if you're charged with that. But here's the crazy thing. You have so many women in prison who are completely traumatized, who have been exploited in so many different ways and had to use their body to survive. And so that's the currency that you're used to using. And you have them locked up for years and years. So you can imagine that they are trying to get the attention of the officers and using tactics, manipulation, and other things. I think the worst thing I saw was a woman in Wasika who told me that she had intentionally got in a relationship with an officer in state prison before she came to the feds. She said, "Oh, I got me a lawsuit." She said, "I had sex with an officer and I made sure that I kept evidence. So I've got a big lawsuit going on. I'm going to get paid for that." I thought, ooh, that's really yucky. So officers beware. But it happened at Dublin, and it was so common there that they actually had to shut the prison down. I really didn't see it. I stayed away from all of that, but I've talked to a lot of women who were doing 20 and 30 years, and they would get in these relationships and considered them consensual and really cared about the officer. And sometimes the officer would bring in contraband, which is another huge no-no. I think it's just difficult, even on the men's side. The men, I talked to a guy that is doing 40, he's done 40 years. He's in there for life. And he's like, "I get so attached to the females. It's the only connection that I have. And I fall for these female officers." And I talked to another woman who, she just said that, I really genuinely fell in love with an officer. And, you would think that it would solve the problem if female officers worked with women and males with males. But I even knew I knew a woman who was serving life, who was an officer in state prison, who got in a relationship with a woman. And when the woman left prison, she shot her out of jealousy. So she was serving life. So, I think it probably happens with the women too, but especially when you've got men working in female institutions, a lot of bad things come of that.